Hi guys, we're here with Dorian Kingi, an incredible actor. I've seen some incredible work that you've done. First of all, I just want to ask you, is this your first time here in Puerto Rico?
It is my first time in Puerto Rico. I have not been here yet. Very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. Of course. And have you had any of the local food? Had any of the...
No, I've heard, what's it, bufong?
Oh, there we go.
Yes,
I suggest
I
to
need
everyone
to do that. So
Yes.
tonight, I'm supposed to be going to have it tonight, so I'm excited. So yes, I will make up for not doing it yet.
Perfect. And how's the fandom been treating you in this expo?
Everybody's been really nice, super sweet. Everybody's been nice. The crew's been really good. The fans are super nice and sweet and respectful. So and that's all I want for them and for me.
Yeah,
right. It's
no,
nice.
definitely.
As long as everybody has a good time and everybody's nice, then yeah, the rest is fine.
Let's get to talk about a little bit about what you do, about your work. Right into it, iconic. How would you compare regular acting versus acting to portray specific characters like this, where maybe they don't have speech for in that example, but you have to express the emotion and the intent of what the scene needs?
No, it's a good question. I feel that when everybody has a process, right? Actors that are non-creature, that are just playing human all the time, everybody has their basis. For some reason, mine comes out in physical form. So it's like, how would I move? How would I feel? What is my limitations based on the artwork of the character? You know, like a robot's not going to move like a Demogorgon.
Definitely.
Who's not going to move like Bane. Yes. So in coming up with those things, I think that versus how actors come up with a dialect or a dialogue, they still deal with their body movements and everything too. But it's like, how does this character speak? How do they respond? What's their cadence? Yes. For me, it's the same thing, but I just do it with my body. And for some reason, it comes a little more naturally to me.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, to describe a character, and then somebody would, and I go, okay, and maybe they'd move like this, and I get into it, and you go, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like, I don't know where it kind of comes from, but that's just my expression. I'm more passionate about expressing it through movement. Also, because I didn't really have like a dance background per se, but I played like almost every sport, did a little bit of martial arts, you know, I've done some parkour stuff, like a little bit of different things that are just all body related. Yeah. And one of my favorite classes when I went to acting college was movement. Yeah. There was my teacher, Paul Cuneo, super nice guy. He just was like, hey, you know, if you're acting, and he applied it to human acting, not creature acting, but then I just took it one step further. And I was like, wow, this ended up applying to this world. Yes. Versus like, well, if you're going to be like a politician that wears a three-piece suit, how are you going to walk versus being like a gangster? Yeah. You know, you're going to walk completely different. You're going to move completely different. So then I just applied that to creature. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, because one thing is a politician, but then you're doing creatures, you're doing cyborg, you're doing robots. So it's different. Of course, Venom. Yeah. And for this type of castings, with your background, do you usually get cast directly, or do you go through audition processes still? Sometimes. It depends on the show. It depends on, I mean, at this point, for the most part, it's usually like, hey, I want to submit your stuff to the director. Okay. Is this the type of characters that he's done? Will that work for this new one? Okay. Hopefully now with the amount of characters I've done, it's very diverse. Definitely. You know, so it's like Bane is very humanoid. Yes. Versus being on all fours like a Demogorgon or so, you know, Venom, or like a zombie. So hopefully it's kind of like, he can almost kind of do anything and everything. And it's more based on availability and body type. You need a tall, skinny guy to do this thing, or maybe need somebody that's a little bit bigger. Sometimes they need bigger people, and sometimes it doesn't matter. Okay. Like Venom is huge, right? He's really buff and big, but I'm tall enough and my body, I can kind of hold the frame to go, all right, if my muscles are this big, I can't be like this. I have to be like this. Get your arms up. So it just it applies in that way. So sometimes, like Bane, I had to do more of an audition process because there was dialogue involved. It's a character that Filoni and Favreau are very particular about, which is great. So I had an interview with them to see if, you know, if we could vibe on a personal level, sort of, to make sure that our chemistry was good, as, you know, director to actor process. But the rest of it, it's kind of based on availability now, but you never know if you're going to get it. Yeah, no, this might go to another person at any time. Else, and it's just always coin toss. Yeah.
He wants to know, what's been your favorite character to portray in this case?
That's tough. I'd say one of everybody has a different heartstring for me. Yeah. Right? Like, so when we did Venom, like I still have a skateboard from high school that has Venom on the bottom.
Yeah, because it's a classic.
It's a classic character. So then when I got to do Venom, I was freaking out, going, oh, this is so cool. And I was like trying to give like tips and ideas. They're like, hey, can you do this? And I was like, well, maybe he would do it more like this.
Yeah, because you knew the character.
Because I knew the character. Yeah, definitely. I was like, this would be a little bit more true to his form. So I think that was really cool for me. I mean, Terminator is amazing too, because
also a classic.
Classic film. I got called for, speaking of like which roles that you do get or you don't get. I got called to submit for 2 shows that I couldn't do at the time because it was out of the country with my wife. She was working on another movie.
Okay.
It was Predator show.
Oh, nice.
Right, to be a Predator, and I was like, oh, that would be so cool
Yeah.
to be a Predator. Couldn't do it because I just wasn't available for that. And then another one, I just had our daughter, and I got called for Alien Covenant. So to be like an alien.
You were almost
Aliens.
Alien and Predator.
Yeah,
You
and
were
I was
almost
like,
involved.
almost involved, and I was like, oh my gosh, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Just round out like my whole career for like, but those are the things I think I freak out the most is when it's a character that I grew up with
And getting the chance to
and
portray
getting
him.
the chance to portray that. Like I would never have guessed in a million years that I could have done
Definitely.
it. So I think that was pretty cool.
Perfect. And then now to close off, any advice you can give to anyone who's maybe trying to get into this type of acting where it's, for specific characters, maybe no speech and you
Yeah.
that type of body language?
My 2 main idols in this world are Doug Jones and Andy Serkis.
Okay.
Right?
Circus,
They're
definitely.
both amazing performers. People now obviously know them really well, but at the time, when they were in their progression, this world was still, it's not seen. They're like, there's nobody behind that for Venom,
Yeah.
or there's not a Demogorgon. It's just CGI, right? And it's like, there's actually a person
Yeah.
under there doing movement and stuff. So I think now that we've been able to kind of expose that a little bit, you can go into, and I started mimicking their movements or seeing like, ooh, what do they do for Gollum? Like, can I play around with that? And you could try to like film yourself, like whether it's in your room or at the park or something else, to just try to kind of carbon copy people so you can see if you're doing it right or wrong, and practice those motions and those movements, and then come up with your own character or do motion stuff. Like I said earlier at the interview, the phone is your biggest
Definitely. Biggest
proponent.
ally.
I didn't have that when I was growing up.
Of course.
There was no smartphones. You know what I mean? They had those massive brick phones that
Yeah.
So, and then the internet wasn't a thing either. You had to submit stuff.
networking.
Yeah, the networking thing was different. So anything that you can do now on the phone to kind of help your craft and practice by filming yourself
Yeah.
will probably be the biggest thing. And then just to find the people that you really like in this world, whether it's a character I did or whether a character somebody else did, and you just try to practice being them in a scene, or just pick a short, like a 30-second clip and practice those movements. That's really important. And then depending on your style, like, any type of like sports, martial arts, those kind of help too.
Yeah.
Gymnastics helps as well. Just depends on what you really want to get into, but you have to, and stretch. You have
Yeah.
to be flexible to do this a lot of the time.
Of course. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We're really big fans of everything you do. So it was amazing to get to know you were coming over to Puerto Rico so
Yeah.
we could meet you. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Happy to be here.